Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to the BIM Cafe. I'm here by myself because we're having some connection issues with Piotr's voice and device, but he's gonna start to join very soon. So hold with me, I will give you, the quick tour around for the many things of marketing and subscriber rollout while he's getting ready. I can see he's getting ready, so no worries for that. I'm sorry for this, but this is the life. So we suffer sometimes some delays, some technical issues, and this is the case, so sorry in advance for that. Well, as I say, everyone, again, welcome and thank you for being there for the BIM Cafe episode 17. This is great. We're going at very high speed this season, and we are reaching the end. So next week, I think we're going to be doing the first episode of the last month, which is June. So 4 more episodes to go after this one. Introduce content and getting ready. Still filling some gaps. Preparing content for the next season, which is going to be, I can advance, it's going to be focused on the new technologies developing on the construction industry, so-called context or construction technology companies. So if you have some ideas or questions about it, you can share it with us. It's going to be taken well care of during the summer break for us to prepare the content for the new season. Well, before we jump on, let's give a couple of minutes more to Piotr to join, and let me just give you the usually stuff. Okay, subscribe button here on the top, on my top left corner, on your top right corner on the screen, or I don't know if it's left or right, sorry for that. Subscribe to the channel because we are nearly there, guys. We are nearly there. We have 980-ish subscribers, so we're gonna hit the 1,000 by end of the season as we wanted, and we need your support. So very important for us that it comes through. Next one as well, the newsletter. So you already know the QR code for the newsletter is right there in LinkedIn. New episode, new chapter will be released very soon for the newsletter as well. And here I will pull up also the other code, beautiful, to join almost the 10,000 people, 9,500. We are nearly there, and we want to reach the 10,000 by the end of the season. Those two are our goals, and you can help us with the subscription to get there. So thank you so much. I think Piotr is ready to join. Let me see if he can join or not. 1 second. Hello, Piotr. Can we see you? Oh my God! Still the microphone is not working, right? I'm so sorry for that, guys. We're gonna launch the first clip, the first video, while we try to solve this issue. Sorry for this, but this is live. If this was recorded, it will be streamed like this. So you know that, right? Let's while we work on this, let me just introduce who is gonna be our guest today. He's Martin Day, a big director of the AC magazine, who's gonna be interviewed by Piotr and myself today. So here you have the presentation from Martin Day, as I said, director, editor, and journalist on AC magazine, and they write the most of the important news on the AC sector, on all the building industry. We have a very intense chat with him. It was an hour-long chat. It's going to be published and released in 25 minutes. So we're going to pick the best moments, as we said today, and we're going to release them really soon on the YouTube, the full interview. First of all, we launched the first clip. Let's try to connect with the person afterwards. So we do our best, and this is going to be the first part of the video, as I said, from the interview with Martin Day. First of all, we talk about BIM because his magazine was pulled up to be a BIM voice speaker for the community. So we told him, what is the state of BIM right now? How is it gonna be making BIM after the 20 years you guys have been running? So those are his answers. We will listen to them and we do our comments afterwards.
Over 20 years on, and we kind of feel that BIM as the utopia that was sold 20 years ago hasn't necessarily lived up to the velocity of development that we'd hoped. And so 2 years ago, we made a decision to just look at different products, different companies, new technologies that would try and deliver a fresh boost to performance and velocity. And so that's taken us on quite a journey, really, in terms of the magazine. It was all culminating. It's probably from 2017 onwards the dissatisfaction with the software market as it was. And now we're in a space where I'm running a show in London on the 21st and 20th and 21st of June, and I've got at least 7 or 8 of the top new startups going to be there all in a row. And so you can see this kind of evolution of from BIM old workflows to how it could work in the future. I just feel that there needs to be less hierarchy. People need to be closer to the software vendors, so the software vendors can actually hear what they're doing to customers, but also what customers want. And I think that a flat structure is always, Bob McNeil, that kind of just somebody who's so easily approachable. I know it gets difficult when you got 2 million customers or 5 million customers, whatever. But I like firms with flat structures. And if your company doesn't have a flat structure, when you meet me, it's going to seem like you've just walked into one. So yeah, it's a trait, unfortunately.
Wow. Can you hear me?
Hey, we can hear you. This is fantastic.
Hey guys, sorry for just some technical problems. I really apologize. I'm just running on the backup solution. It's like all of us, we have the backup of the backup, so it works. So, well, sorry for just quick problems on the beginning, but it's really live. So.
Yes, exactly. This is the proof, right? So my apologies accepted from my side. Peter, thank you so much for being able to join in time. I don't know, you had time to listen to Martin on his first clip. We were discussing about the biggest state of BIM and the evolution since then, because as I was introducing to our listeners before, he wanted to produce his magazine at the beginning to showcase BIM, right, and give the voice to it. So we asked him,
correct,
was it an utopia? Has it evolved? How has it evolved? And so he talked about this hierarchy structure that everything is top to bottom, and really so developers and big companies are not listening to the user's needs. And this is something to consider a lot. No, Martin is fighting hard with the developers role. So
right. But also, just guys, I think it's really interesting to watch. How he described the industry, and then just watch the video, which will be released later at 10:30. But the idea really from him is really just to also ask the questions, the tough questions to the market and to the vendors, and I think that's really something which built his position very strongly on the market. He also talked about his conference, so I think it's also important. I think we'll cover it later on, isn't it, Enrique?
Yeah, we talk about it, but we can show you later anyway that there's a conference called Next Build and Next Dev, couple of shows organized by Martin and by the AC magazine, happening in June 21st of the month of June in London. Sorry. So if you guys want to go by and tell you come from the BIM Cafe, you will get a special warm welcome, of course. So yeah, those two events, top minds of the industry are going to be there. So important also to be there. You want to keep on the loop for the new trends.
Very good.
Fantastic.
So what are the next ones? So just because Martin interviews really just very
intense.
which party you choose for as a teasers for the bigger audience?
So for the next one, Martin's magazine is in charge of providing the latest picks of technology to the industry. So we'll tell him, how do you see or sense what are the good things coming or not? And he said something very interesting for me. He said, before to know what is innovative, you need to know what is wrong and what is missing. So we need to analyze your past work. Let's take a look to the video itself and we connect to discuss it after.
Lovely. Let's go.
I think before you kind of decide what's new, you have to say what was wrong and what was old. And in my view, we're at a crossroads. So Carl Bass, the CEO of Autodesk a few years ago, told me that there were always, whenever there's a platform change, you see software companies fall, new companies rise, and all software companies, all established companies with lots of customers fear platform change, because platform change means that somebody from the left field can come and take away your business. I mean, WordStar and all those kind of big DOS products didn't make it across to Windows, and we've seen this happen with Unix. And in the mechanical CAD space, we saw PTC, and there was a whole load of huge old Unix-based CAD systems that were absolutely ravaged by SolidWorks when it came out. and that's a lesson for everybody, is that when you change platform, there's a potential problem. So do it to yourself before someone does it to you. And I think that what was expected, and what 5-10 years ago, was that cloud was going to be the next platform, and this next platform change was going to be everybody dumping their workstations and moving to the cloud. And it hasn't really played out like that. It isn't really playing out like that. Or if it is, it's happening over a lot longer period than people expected. And so you look at Autodesk, and back in 2015, I was complaining about the lack of development in Revit, or the lack of development of the product. And meanwhile, the other side of Autodesk had developed Fusion, where it had really embraced the cloud and was really trying some brand new computer science to bring a modeler to the market. And the actual difference was that Autodesk's AE side owned the market pretty much. It was number one in most places, maybe not in mainland Europe. While in the MCAD side, Autodesk didn't really, it was third or fourth in the mechanical CAD phase market. So they were in a gunfight, and they knew it. While on the other side, didn't have to spend much money, do a lot of research, because it already owned the market. Why break that market?
Yeah, no, it's a big success story. In fact, what he developed. So I like it very much. Really, to the way how I think we try just to copy him, isn't it? Right now.
Yeah, well, of course, right? This is what he developed was big, and it's important. You can see he knows very well all the inner structure and things happening behind all those big companies like Autodesk and so on, how they're facing the market. And something that he pointed, and we will crack into later on, is that everyone thought that the cloud was the definitive way to host and provide a lot of data on those models. No? So we call here like the cloud was the big hype. We will see how the industry is evolving afterwards, but that was the feeling of all the and the sense of the people around us.
Yeah, no, I think the solution, and this is something which I found it pretty interesting, because people talking a lot about the cloud. I'm not sure really why this is so different. I know what I really don't get it, potentially, even if I understand. I think I'm even selling cloud solutions, but why that was so revolutionary, I don't get it. But
We'll see. It really was after coming the internet. It was everyone was want to move to the cloud, but some things cannot be done that much.
But that's moving to, it's only the one of the way of doing the business, the cloud part. So just that's the reason why I was just thinking about it. If this is really the way to go, or more for me, it's only the distribution, maybe the quickly, the rapidity, or I don't know. But I was just not really sure why the cloud is a driver, really. But I'm learning, so
of course.
That's it.
Well, so as you saw, Martin has a big knowledge about all the software development companies in the BIM world in the ASC construction industry. And we asked him directly, okay, so everything happening behind, because you look like they are more focused on having the control of the market than providing a proper platform solution. No? If they hold the market, they're going to be happy. It doesn't matter if the product is satisfying or not. Are they guilty? Are they responsible for the not full implementation and development of new solutions like BIM? So that was our question. Tough one. Let's see how he get away with.
Let me just step back for what you said. Can we make the hypothesis that the because of the laziness of the software companies, the BIM have not really went as fast as it should, or
okay, you're bringing me back on. So the reality is that the Revit, which is obviously the majority player, didn't feel the need to get there. And I think internally at Autodesk, I might be wrong, but this is my analysis, is that they were waiting for the MCAD division to go ahead and charge forth, prove the way. And once that technology had been worked out, then they could do that to Revit. So they were waiting for this technology to be developed so they could then know how to move forward. But because it took longer, and Fusion it kind of bounced off the surface of SolidWorks, and the technology took longer, I think the decision to maybe rewrite Revit, which might have been thought about maybe 12 years ago, 10 years ago, who knows, was put off until that the other technology matured. And then what ended up was just you stretched out this product for so long in its life. I mean, Carl Bass told me, he said, if a software product is older than 10 years, it needs rewriting. And that was a very, that was somebody who was in charge of Autodesk. So there's a lifespan, because there are compiler changes, there's platform changes, there's processor changes, there's graphics card changes, there's use changes, there's workflow changes. Changes built into our world, and in software, you have to expect that there are fundamental changes which will make the software that you use old and not necessarily the best anymore. And so when Anagnos got the job, the first thing I said to him was, you've got a value problem. You're charging people a lot of money for Revit and the Autodesk suite when people aren't feeling the value anymore because it's not being developed. And he said, give me a year. And then 3 years later, it's still nothing had changed. In fact, there was less software development of the architectural products.
Okay, yeah, I think we got the answer, right? I think we got the answer, because if something very, very good I picked from his words is like, a product who has been in the market for 10 years needs some reprogramming, the rewriting. And people asking him, okay, we're paying out of money for something, you're not developing very well, and give me a year happened and it's even worse. So are they responsible? Yes.
And I'm questioning in which cycle of this, how old is the software? It's just, are you on the beginning of this 10 year or just at the end of 10 years? Because it's at the end of the 10 years and you need to rewrite everything and just to buy the new stuff. Wow. And this is pretty expensive today. When you look at it, when we look at the pricing, the small companies really cannot afford it, to be honest, So maybe I'm still going back to this cloud discussion and why he was referring to the cloud, maybe because of the pricing points as well. You need just to, before you just need to buy the whole subscription for the whole software itself with the licenses. Then you only for the subscription. On the cloud, you can buy the subscription only. Yeah, so maybe that's the difference, really. Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. We're gonna link into that, because the problem with the cloud was also the speed of loading, having the things not connected locally on your computer. And there's a very cool anecdote that I think Martin is sharing on our next clip. If not, I will share it with you. But the interview will be full published in 10 minutes, a bit more than 10 minutes. So let's listen to Martin about why is the problem we have now to run everything so slow.
Wow. Okay, let's.
Where you can look for the full cycle, from the design to construction to the operations to the.
But this is where it was fundamentally wrong, but also a greedy idea to create one product to rule them all, one file format to include all the information in, because there's no way that file could hold all that information. Yet Revit essentially wanted to be everything, and so did ArchiCAD did to a certain extent, but it didn't have all the other bits and pieces that Revit had. And so the idea that you had this file that would grow to be something that you couldn't load, or you'd have people. I was talking to a friend, and he said that he got called in. He was the BIM manager, and his boss wanted to know why every morning he walked in, everyone was hanging around drinking coffee for 40 minutes before doing anything. He said, "Oh, we're just loading the model." I mean, that was built into the time. So there is the basic concept was wrong, and also, even if it worked, the reality is that we're a federated industry, and so you end up with an architectural model. The structural engineers build their own model because they don't trust the architectural model. The construction model is there because they don't trust anyone else's model. Everyone has to try and negate other people's errors. So we ended up with the multi-model BIM nightmare. And at the end of the day, the MEP engineers were normally the one that got all the bits together, who could do the clash detection, because no one else had all the information. And it wasn't a great workflow, and it's messy. And the other thing that was bad with it was that instead of helping automatic drawing output, people didn't like the drawing output. So they ended up sticking it in AutoCAD and making edits, which broke the link with Revit, and so then they had to go back into the model and output the drawings and then get it into AutoCAD and make the changes again.
No, so I think he made a really great point in the way how the whole process changed, and the way how the really comes to the transformation went through the engineering departments, really.
Yeah, totally. And the anecdote I was advancing before is that, you know, people, and I experienced this on my own previous jobs, that first thing you do, you walk into the office, you turn on the computer, click open the model, and then you can drop off your bag, go to the kitchen, grab a coffee, chat, how's the day, blah, blah, discuss about the previous night football match, because it takes a while to load. And this is not what we want. We cannot have everything collapse at once. We go back to a few seasons ago, BIM, cooperation, coordination, we need to divide this work, right? So it looks like the cloud was not the ultimate solution for that, because still things get load to load, and going for this unique tool to rule everything, like one unique file is going to be fully adopt everywhere and have all the information there. Oof, this is going to be super, super heavy. We're experiencing that already. So.
Yeah. The one thing, Enrique, sorry for just stopping for the whole flow. I think I understand right now why we have some issues on the beginning, because I think we reach our records of the number of viewers on the YouTube, I think, today. So I think we're more over 1,000 viewers right now on the YouTube.
Overwhelmed.
We will move out of the LinkedIn. I think that's the whole point. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just really upset from the start today, so it's just not good.
So many of you guys overwhelmed Pietro's microphone today. So
just my mic was cut, so he will not be talking today anymore. That's over.
Fantastic. So a couple of more topics to go. First one for me is one of the most interesting one, and we discussed about this, the cloud. No, what was the path of innovation? Everything came in with the computer, IT, internet, and so on. Then we moved to the cloud. And what's next? What's today's latest trend? Where is the industry is going? So don't say anything. Okay, let's listen to Marty.
Bit about the move from desktop to cloud, and cloud is coming and cloud is there, but it's only there in part. But what the actual platform change isn't going to be the cloud, it's going to be the data structure. And so what I'm seeing is a movement towards from files to data, databases, data lakes, whatever you want to call it. And that's a totally different, that's probably more impactful than the actual move to a cloud as per se. So at the moment, all these systems are just caching files left, right, and center. You're lobbing files onto a server, they're being cached locally, and they're all being updated behind the scenes. And hopefully, you're limiting the kind of downtime and speed of problems of shunting all this huge information around. But if you look at what Autodesk is launching in May, the first iteration of Forma, the first part of their future vision, and that's all based on a unified database. So this unified database is a way of getting around the Tower of Babel that we've been working in. So instead of having files from Revit, files from Fusion, files from Inventor and ArchiCAD and whatever, everything's going to be stored in a database which is geolocated, so all spatially located, so all the information. Another term for it is ECS, which I think is an entity component system. So at the same time as getting rid of files and going incredibly huge, we're also going to be dealing with data sets that are down to one component. So it might be a lintel, it might be a wall, it might be a nut, it might be a bolt, and you will get, whoever you are and whatever discipline you are, you will get the right information sent to you from that data lake. And so things are going to speed up dramatically because you don't have to load up all this crap. You just load up what you need.
Yeah, no, I think he really touched the important part. And again, guys, thank you very much for helping and supporting us online, offline. with all of the different comments. Thank you for this, because I think the connection is really just a bad one for today, Vars. But going back to Martin, I think he was right. Right now we see also the important part, and we will be talking on the season 4 for the different companies who are just trying just to limit the data, the download, uploads, etc., and just try to use the part of artificial intelligence just to repeat some of the patterns to improve the user experience. Because as you guys know, who just listening and who work on the models, it can take day to load and day to save right now. So yeah,
Exactly. So this evolution computer cloud desktop cloud that we display on the header below is where the industry is going forward. No? So dividing the information until a unique simple entity, and if you want to have access to that one, just click that. Not all the information needs to be loaded into your computer to just check the status of that bolt, for example, as Martin said. And connecting to that, we have one question. I just see it. Okay, it's Ruben's asking if maybe a good internet connection and a preloaded model will kind of go around this loading problem for the people who are waiting on with his coffee in the office. Yes, of course, a good internet connection, definitely, because not everything can be stored in the computer or in one unique file. So, of course, the cloud is not discarded. We still need some part of that. And as I said, this somehow tree structure where you access directly to the element you need and you load the element you need. So you don't need to load all the information from the project or the model inside. This is like the same technology going around the mapping and Google Earth and maps. No, there's a few videos around showing that, so you don't load everything you need on the whole map. You just need load the part that you want to access to it, so everything is way faster. I think we kind of convince you with
Enrique and Ruben, sorry, just we cannot go faster than speed of light, guys. Okay, so it's just we can try still, but it's just that would be something different than construction industry. I don't think so it will be possible. And right now, some of the calculations, etc., I think it's impossible to go faster, even if we will have the local models, etc., etc. So I think it's more about that's what Martin mentioned, the data structures, putting some of the intelligence into the creation of the models, etc. I think the old-fashioned doing it will just not be enough. And people have right now, when you touch your phone, right, you can swap it, you can do it, etc. So the people have the same, they would like to have the same experience with the construction industry, with the 3D models in CAD as they have on the phone, going through the Instagram, right, and just then or whatever, the Facebook, whatever, TikTok or whatever. So they want to have the same experience. So that's the expectation, and we need to find a way to put the very complex mathematical model visualize them in the real time, and sharing them with the whole world in the same time with the team. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. We're to the end, but we start a bit delayed. Let's just play the last clip. Okay, it's gonna be very, very quick. It's basically the wish list from the ASC users. So let's see what is the wish list according to Martin, and what people need or seek from the software developers.
Wish list. Go.
There's a number of wants. There's a number of things that people want. They want automated drawings, so they don't have to bother with that. They want direct connection to fabrication. They want to be able to do connections. They want open, free-flowing data. They don't want to be locked in another proprietary file format. They want to work together better. So they want to collaborate, but they want to collaborate on their own terms and in a free and easy manner. What else do they want? They want smart technology, so you can do a laser scan of a building and get something intelligent out of it without having to go through, sketch it out in a BIM modeler and manually create it. They want smarts, and I think that the industry is now even ahead of what the kind of lists that these people were telling me that they want. I saw someone gave me a demo, and they'd only give it to me at the end of the evening when I was drunk, and it was in a 3D space. You drew a rectangle, you offset the rectangle. In the first rectangle in polylines, you just drew some internal spaces. You vaguely in 3D pinpointed some rectangles for windows, and you pressed a button. And at the other end came a full BIM model of an offsite fabrication unit with all the fabricated drawings. And that was automated. And then any changes you wanted to do, either to the sketch or to the model would then update all the rest of them.
Yeah, no. As you can see, guys, just before we'll jump to the topic itself, you can learn also about the personal life of our guest during our interview. So if you listen carefully, you will understand what the people does in the evenings as well. So
yeah, so are we picking the user and automated drawings, connection to fabrication, collaboration in our own terms, free flow of data? Now, this is kind of things that people really want, and the software developers are not providing in full. So Martin has a wide contact network of users and developers, and this is what he's hitting the most. So those are the trends that needs to be hit by the market if we want to really break into the market. I think it's going to be a good ending, putting that into like automated drawing, classification, and so on.
Very good ending. I
Fantastic.
think this is going forward. Just, guys, if you wish to see Martin and you wish to go on his conference, I think that's important that you will just subscribe and you go on to London the 21st of June, wherever you are. So just try just to take a look at it. This is the two conferences, in fact, the next building and next development. I think that's something which is interesting. So go for it, subscribe. If you tell Martin that you're coming from us, maybe you'll get some discount. So just think about it.
or maybe a free beer on the evening with him.
We haven't thought about it. So guys, just take a chance. And again, once more, thank you very much for all of the viewers on the YouTube. I think we reached the one of the records today. So thank you very much for the people who are watching us on the YouTube. Just do not forget subscribe on the subscribe button, and this is LinkedIn as well. Just do not forget go and just let's just reach 10,000 subscribers on LinkedIn. And guys, this is great because LinkedIn changed the policy right now. Fake accounts and everything will be just wiped out. And you know what? Our accounts are not really just went down in number of subscribers and the followers. So we have the real people who are just attached to us.
Exactly. So that's the goal: 1,000 people on YouTube, 10,000 on newsletter. We can reach by the end of the season, and with that strength you guys can give us, we can keep producing more content for the next one. So that's all from my side. It was not an easy live, right, Peter? It was not an easy live. So
that was one of the toughest, really, for me. So thank you very much, guys. Have a great weekend. Have a great Friday. And by the way, in Poland is the Mother's Day. Each country in Europe is different.
Yeah, it's different.
Happy
in Spain, we had it a while ago. Yeah, I already fulfilled my commitments as well.
Okay.
Well, guys, have a good day.
Have a good one. Have a good weekend, guys. Thanks, Enrique.